Do aliens exist? What scientists think we're getting along with them these days. A survey of 1,055 scientists, including 521 astrobiologists, found that 86.6% believe basic extraterrestrial life likely exists. Agreement among non-astrobiologists was similar. Indirect evidence for these beliefs is provided by scientists by the universe's abundance of habitable environments and the non-zero probability of life arising. It seems like a strong consensus, but why isn't it even higher? There might be life on moons in our solar system, and there are 100 billion planets in just our galaxy, but there's still no concrete evidence for life outside Earth. By Peter Vickers, Durham University, Henry Taylor, University of Birmingham, and Sean McMahon, University of Edinburgh scientists' opinions on space aliens. News stories about the likely existence of extraterrestrial life and our chances of detecting it tend to be positive. We are often told that we might discover it any time now. Finding life beyond Earth is only a matter of time, we were told in September 2023. "We are close" was a headline from September 2024. It's easy to see why. Headlines such as, "We're probably not close," or "Nobody knows," aren't very clickable. But what does the relevant community of experts think when considered as a whole? Are optimistic predictions common or rare? Is there even a consensus? In our new paper, published in Nature Astronomy, we've found out. During February to June 2024, we carried out 4 surveys regarding the likely existence of basic, complex, and intelligent extraterrestrial life. We sent emails to astrobiologists, scientists who study extraterrestrial life, as well as to scientists in other areas, including biologists and physicists. In total, 521 astrobiologists responded, and we received 534 non-astrobiologist responses. The results reveal that 86.6% of the surveyed astrobiologists responded either agree or strongly agree that it's likely that extraterrestrial life, of at least a basic kind, exists somewhere in the universe. Less than 2% disagreed, with 12% staying neutral. So, based on this, we might say that there's a solid consensus that extraterrestrial life of some form exists somewhere out there. The 2025 Earth-Sky Lunar Calendar is now available. A unique and beautiful poster-sized calendar. Get yours today. Even non-astrobiologists believe that ET exists. Scientists who weren't astrobiologists essentially concurred, with an overall agreement score of 88.4%. In other words, one cannot say that astrobiologists are biased toward believing in extraterrestrial life, compared with other scientists. When we turn to complex extraterrestrial life or intelligent aliens, our results were 67.4% agreement and 58.2% agreement, respectively, for astrobiologists and other scientists. So, scientists tend to think that alien life exists, even in more advanced forms. These results are made even more significant by the fact that disagreement for all categories was low. For instance, only 10.2% of astrobiologists were against the idea that intelligent aliens probably do exist. Indistinct humanoids standing in a tunnel of swirling mist. They are lit from behind by a bright and obscuring glow. Do intelligent aliens exist in the universe? Image via Shutterstock. Are they guessing about the reality of aliens? Are scientists merely speculating? Usually, we should only take notice of a scientific consensus when it is based on evidence, and lots of it. As there is no proper evidence, scientists may be guessing. However, scientists did have the option of voting neutral, an option that was chosen by some scientists who felt that they would be speculating. Only 12% chose this option. There is a lot of indirect or theoretical evidence that alien life exists. For example, we do now know that habitable environments are very common in the universe. We have several in our solar system, including the subsurface oceans of the moons Europa and Enceladus, and arguably also the environment a few kilometers below the surface of Mars. It also seems relevant that Mars used to be highly habitable, with lakes and rivers of liquid water on its surface and a substantial atmosphere. It is reasonable to make generalizations from this point on to a truly staggering number of environments that are habitable throughout the galaxy and the entire universe. We also know, since we're here, that life can get started from non-life. After all, it happened on Earth. Although the origin of the first simple forms of life is poorly understood, there is no compelling reason to think that it requires astronomically rare conditions. And even if it does, the probability of life getting started, abiogenesis, is non-zero. This can help us to see the 86.6% agreement in a new light. Perhaps it is not, actually, a surprisingly strong consensus. Perhaps it is a surprisingly weak consensus. Consider the numbers. There are more than 100 billion galaxies. We know that habitable environments are everywhere. Let's say there are 100 billion habitable worlds, planets or moons, in the universe. Suppose we are such pessimists that we think life's chances of getting started on any given habitable world are 1 in a billion. In that case, we would still answer agree to the statement that alien life likely exists in the universe. Thus, optimists and pessimists should all have answered agree or strongly agree to our survey, with only the most radical pessimists about the origin of life disagreeing. Bearing this in mind, we could present our data another way. Suppose we discount the 60 neutral votes we received. Perhaps these scientists felt that they would be speculating and didn't want to take a stance. In which case, it makes sense to ignore their votes. This leaves 461 votes in total, of which 451 were for agree or strongly agree. Now, we have an overall agreement percentage of 97.8%. This move is not as illegitimate as it looks. Scientists know that if they choose neutral, they can't possibly be wrong. Thus, this is the safe choice. In research, it is often called satisficing. As the geophysicist Edward Bullard wrote back in 1975 while debating whether all continents were once joined together, instead of making a choice, it is more prudent to keep quiet, sit on the fence, and wait in statesmanlike ambiguity for more data. Not only is keeping quiet a safe choice for scientists, but it also means the scientist doesn't need to think too hard. It is the easy choice. Getting the balance right. What we probably want is balance. On one side, we have the lack of direct empirical evidence and the reluctance of responsible scientists to speculate. On the other side, we have evidence of other kinds, including the truly gargantuan number of habitable environments in the universe. We know that the probability of life getting started is non-zero. Perhaps 86.6% agreement, with 12% neutral and less than 2% disagreement, is a sensible compromise, all things considered. Perhaps, given the problem of satisficing, whenever we present such results, we should present 2 results for overall agreement, one with neutral votes included, 86.6%, and one with neutral votes disregarded, 97.8%. Neither result is the single correct result. Each perspective speaks to different analytical needs and helps prevent oversimplification of the data. Ultimately, reporting both numbers and being transparent about their contexts is the most honest way to represent the true complexity of responses. This article is republished from The Conversation under a Creative Commons license. Read the original article. In conclusion, a survey of more than 1,000 scientists found that it is highly likely that aliens do exist. Nearly 87% of them believe extraterrestrial life exists elsewhere in the universe. The real number of believers, however, could be much greater. Read more. Interstellar signal linked to aliens was just a truck. Read more. What does habitable mean to astronomers? Please like and share my videos. Your friends will thank you for it.